Welcome to this week's masterclass with Bill Pipez in the house. I hope that you guys are excited about the end of the year. We literally have 2 more weeks, and that's all you have. 2 weeks to get stuff under contract. Because after 2 weeks is over, anything that happens in December, we don't get paid until January, and that's an entirely new year, which isn't bad. Hopefully you guys don't stop working then, but 2 weeks to put under contract to end the year strong. And I hope that you guys feel that excitement. Remember that there are people that have to buy. The people that have to buy before the end of the year. You have people that make decent amount of money that need tax write-offs. You have people that are finishing up divorces, people that are finishing up whatever their life circumstances are that requires them to have to sell or have to buy. And our job and our responsibility, Janelle, is to be able to find those people, connect with them. Because the people that are like, on the fence and woulda, coulda, woulda, they're most likely gonna take their foot off the gas during the holiday season. And so we're looking for the people that say, no, I need to, right? So Bill, take it away.
Yeah. And, obviously we had a couple of key things that happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. The government is back up and operational, which I think we're all, especially Janelle, if you travel at all, like Nazar and I have experienced the planes, trains, and automobiles. But more importantly than that, it opens up FHA, VA, a lot of government agencies. And also, Deanne, it gives us real valuable information that we need for the mortgage markets to be able to actually begin their pivot or begin their change that's going to take place. I will say this, and I think Bob, you've heard me talk a little bit about this. There were three primary big events that are taking place between now and the end of the year. And I just want to take about 2 minutes and talk about this. One of them, just that domino fell, which was the government opening back up. Why is that important? Now, what do you guys think that's important? Just either in the chat or unmute yourself. And there's multiple reasons, but there's one really big one. And what do you guys think that is? Why is that a critical thing to have happened? Don't everyone jump at once, okay? Or Tabitha, why do you think?
Specifically regarding real estate, I don't know.
Okay, now let me help you guys out. Okay, real estate moves at the speed of certainty, and I want you guys to write that down. The real estate market moves at the speed of certainty. If there's uncertainty in any markets, fiscal market, the government, etc., then buyers and sellers will remove themselves out of the home buying or home selling process, put themselves on the sidelines, right? And they'll take their time. And over the course of the last 2, potentially 3 weeks, I've been hearing more and more of that taking place where people are just like, gosh, it's sort of crazy. Fewer people are answering the phone. It's normal around the holidays. The people that I am getting on the phone are dragging their feet a little bit, right? And those are key signs of uncertainty, right? And people just don't move forward when they're uncertain. Well, what's really wonderful, we just removed one of those pieces off of the table, which is the government. Okay, what is the government going to do? Are we going to open back up? Understand, this is the longest government shutdown that we've had in the history of the United States of America. So it's understandable with all of the buzz that's around it, that we had people that were a little bit more concerned. Now, here's the good news, okay? The good news is you can now pick up the phone. You have a leverage point. You have a conversation ability to be able to have with those leads this time of the year that says, hey, guess what? The government just opened up. We're seeing the real estate market begin to respond to that. I'm just sort of curious, what are your plans between now and the end of the year? And is your time frame still X, Y, and Z, right? It's just another leverage point, another conversation piece for you to have as an excuse to be able to get on the phone with your buyers and your sellers. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Number 2, so Deanne, I'd use this over the next 2 days as an excuse to call all of the leads that I haven't gotten in contact with recently, the last week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. The second piece, though, is there's a backlog of data that we're waiting to get. September the 25th jobs report is going to be released here by the end of this week. Next week, we're going to get the November 8th, and then we'll get the November 15th. All 3 jobs reports will be released over the course of the next week to week and a half, and that backlog will have impact on the market as well, too. So right now, you don't want to make any assessment on how the market is going to respond for probably about 7 to 10 days. Does that make sense? Until all the data is released. So Tammy, you're going to see probably you're going to see a little bit of volatility is what my guess is going to be. You're going to see rates come up and rates come down and rates come up and rates come down until we reach just like a little baseline where everything sort of the dust settles and we get back to some normalcy. The second big leverage piece, or the second big component that's taking place, is what's called QE, quantitative easing, right? The Fed has said as of December 1st, they're stopping QT, quantitative tightening, and they're going to begin to actually start potentially buying back mortgage-backed securities, creating a demand in the market. That puts downward pressure on the 10-year and ultimately because they're buying treasuries. It puts downward pressure on mortgage rates as well too. So write down for me, A, keep an eye on what happens in the markets for the next 10 days so the dust settles. B, really keep an eye on December the 1st, 2nd, 3rd to see how that impacts how the QE and the stop of the QT, quantitative tightening, right? And if you don't understand these, there's this wonderful thing called ChatGPT. You can go into it and you can say, explain to me, in fact, all of you guys should do this, okay? Explain to me at a 5th grade level how the Fed's actions on December the 1st could impact the real estate market. Okay, ChatGPT, I did that. It gave me a really great answer, really good clarity. And then subsequently, that's something you can send out to your clients. Hey, I want you to understand the Fed's making a move on December the 1st. They announced it on their October meeting, and here's what it's going to, or November meeting, and here's what it means. Again, another leverage point for you to be in communication. Does that make sense? And then number 3, here's the third piece, guys. December the 10th. December the 10th, we have the Fed meeting. Now, Bob, all of these, I'm going to position these as opportunities for me to educate my clients, to be in communication, to bring them value, right? And to once again say, how does this impact your decision to be able to move forward, to buy or to sell? December the 10th, with the government opening back up, we did see some downward pressure on the Fed futures, which at this point now, it's a 47% chance of a Fed cut. All right. So we're less than 50%. Again, don't make any analysis on that. Okay. Wait, let's see how the market settles down before those numbers really come in strong. But all 3 of those, right? Great opportunities for you to educate, great opportunities for you to inform, and great opportunities to position yourself as an authority and once again, reconnect with the leads. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. So I know that has nothing to do with online leads, but it has everything to do with your strategy for follow-up. Now, I will say this, and it's something I brought to all of the G3 Nation. This time of the year, okay, there is typically anywhere from a 30 to 40% drop in the number of people answering their phone around the holidays. Did you guys realize that? 30 to 40%. So if I want to just keep even, guys, I've got to look at and say, I got to add 30 to 40% more time in my schedule for my calling from now until the end of the year. Okay. That's the only way you can offset that, to be able to make sure. Because listen, you could put in the same amount of time as you normally do. Once your numbers go down and have it have a negative impact on you, or you could say, cool, I normally, Tammy, do an hour. I'm going to go to an hour and 20 minutes. I normally do 2. I'm going to go to 2 hours and 40 minutes, right? Just for a short sprint, just for a short period of time until we get through the holidays, right? And then come January, we're back to our normal cadence and normal amount. Now, there is one more thing. Because of the uncertainty, please write this down. It's going to take you double the conversations or touches, probably till January, to be able to get the appointments that you want to get. Now, that's important in this whole online lead conversation that I'm going to have with you guys here today and on the next call as well, too. Well, why is that? Why double, coach? Well, it's double because in the absence of certainty, people don't move forward. Our job, right? And people drag their feet. I just have to double up. It takes more conversations. It takes more dialogues. It takes more emails. It takes more value. It takes more of that to be able to control the narrative. Does that make sense, my friends? Okay. Really simple. I know it's not the easy answer. I wish there was a magic video you could shoot, a TikTok that you could do, a reel that would actually work, but really it's repetition that's going to win the game. And it's the increase of activity and pouring into those leads as well, too. That all shifts and changes come January. Okay. When everyone's through the holidays, the markets are more certain. And we still have a 70% chance of a rate cut in January. See how that holds, etc. Nazar, it looks like you wanted to say something. Did you?
I guess when I go back to my point before you started talking, and that is who is the most motivated buyers and sellers right now, because all this uncertainty, even when we don't know, right, we can say, oh, the rates will come down. And if the rates do come down, then there's going to be more buyers that enter the marketplace. There's going to be more sellers that enter the marketplace, and all of that happens. But then we don't know if that will happen. And because that creates that uncertainty, and there people are like, well, I'll just wait. Because when I bought my house in January, I got a rate. I've got fantastic credit. I got a rate of 7.125%. Guess what? I'm refinancing right now with no cost to me at 6.125%.
Totally.
Now, do I hate the fact that I am selling a house and my interest rate was 2.75? Yes, but it is what it is. And so people that want to buy and sell, lots of things in the market that are creating chatter. What would you say is the best thing to do in the midst of even us not knowing what's going to happen with the rates? How do we get people, I forget about the people that are on the fence because they're sideliners that are going to do something when they feel more certainty. How do we get the people that say, I need to buy now? What's the conversation to them?
So first of all, let me say something around that, because it does play into what I got for you guys here today. Part of your follow-up and this time of the year and moving forward is getting clarity on who to spend time with and who not to spend time with in your follow-up. Okay. People in this market right now need to have some clear intent and level of motive to take action, AKA motivation, or they're not going to do it. Okay. Right. No matter what script I give you, no matter what close you have right now, no matter how much energy you have, how many calls you make, right? If it's not a have to move situation, in most cases, you're not going to see movement with them. Does that make sense, guys? So the question I would ask is, hey, Nazar, on a scale of 1 to 10, just so I can make sure, and I love this line, that my motivation to help you buy or sell your home matches your motivation to buy or sell, where would you rate yourself in terms of wanting to be in your new home or sell this home in the next 90 days on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. Okay, you're a 7. Fantastic. Good. Hey, Nazar, because a 7 can mean something different for different people. What does a 7 mean for you?
That means that I want to sell. I want to move closer to my kids. They all move to Arizona because it's less expensive there. So I ideally would want to be closer to them, but I don't want to give my house away.
Of course not. And I'm just sort of curious, that 7, what would make it an 8, 9, or even a 10?
Well, I guess if I found the perfect home close to my kids,
then that would create the motivation that would put you up that 7, that 8, 9, or 10. Perfect. Okay. Do you have an agent that you're working with down there? Can I make a recommendation, etc.? Boom. I'm going to do that. Right. And then I'm going to move forward, because a 7 for me is someone that has enough motive to take action. If they're giving me a 7, an 8, a 9, I'm going to move forward with them. They're bottom of the funnel for me. Right. Okay. But if they give me a 4 or 5 or a 6, I'm probably not going to spend as much time. Well, what would make a 4, 5, or 6? Well, if we could get that price that we want, or if we could get this, or you know what I mean? If the market really turns, I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. And you're going to see, right, guys, you'll hear me today, right, in the next 14 minutes, begin this conversation around this, because just so you guys know, background, I moved up to Salt Lake City. We had our mortgage company. This was about 2006 that I moved up here, 2006, 2007, or 2006. When I came up here, did not practice real estate because I was busy working for Mike Ferry at the time, okay? Decided to activate my license just to have, right, okay, because I had in California, and then obviously let it lapse and came up here to Utah. Around 2008 and 2009, because I had our mortgage company, directlender.com, in 2008, 2009, one of my clients said to me, hey, I'm generating a lot of leads. And I said, okay, cool. How many leads? Her name was Wendy Lockhart, okay, in Tampa, Florida. And I was thinking now keep in mind, guys, this is prior to all the lead Zillow and all that other stuff that we have right now. She goes, I was thinking she's going to tell me 30 or 40 leads. She goes, we're getting about 400 to 500 leads a month. And I said, Nazar, holy crap. At that moment, I knew the model for real estate was shifting, right? I knew it, right? When I said, what do you have? And Deanna, she goes, we have a site called Boomtown. We quickly we got Boomtown at that time, Salt Lake, right? All of Utah had one MLS from Idaho down to Arizona, and from Nevada all the way over to Colorado. And so we ran a very substantial lead generation model. Okay. I learned a lot during that time, obviously continue to learn over the course of the last 15, 16 years, right? And I want to take you through that, both what has evolved, right? And the mistakes not to make. It'll take us 2 calls. Does that sound good, guys? Because all of you guys, how many of you guys have some type of online leads that are coming in some shape or form, whether it be Google pay-per-click, some type of organic, I'm paying for it with Zillow, realtor.com, Ojo, something, right? Okay. So at our peak, our team would do about 80 or 75-ish at our peak, probably 90 million. And Deanna, we got so good at this lead generation and being able to set appointments that we moved over, did sort of a Zillow Flex model in East Bay of San Francisco, Silicon Valley, down in San Diego, and in Orange County, right? Where we would scrub the leads, set appointments, take 35% referral fee. So we learned a lot because we were doing it at scale. And here's what I would tell you. It took us some time to be able to determine this because we thought when a lead came in, and this is something, and one of the big mistakes, and I'll send this over to you, Nazar, because I put together what are the top 10 mistakes agents make with online leads, right? Okay. And so I want you guys to be able to have this. The first thing that you want to look at is this, and I want you to write this down. Not every lead gets treated the same. Not every lead gets treated the same. Now, let me give you a caveat on this. You got to understand this funnel to really understand what I just said. When I say not every lead is treated the same, I'm going to treat every lead the same until I determine where they are in the funnel. Listen to what I just said. I'm going to treat every lead the same, Bob, so I can get them on the phone, potentially get in front of them, or get on a Zoom with them to determine really where they are here, because depending upon where they are in the funnel will determine, Deanne, how it is that I approach them, the aggressiveness that I have, even the dialogues and the conversations, and my willingness to close. Does that make total sense, guys? Okay. And so let me explain the funnel. There's tofu, mofu, and bofu. You may want to draw this. Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be functional, needs to give you the chance to be able to look at this. Your top of the funnel leads, okay? Let's start there. Top of the funnel leads are going to be more, they're 12 months out or more, okay? These are your Google pay-per-click, longer term nurture leads, your meta leads, and in general, Bob, they're about 418 days out is the average time frame to get them to be able to transact. That's a long period of time. Okay. Now, when I'm getting on the phone with them for the first time, why do I want to figure this out if they're top of the funnel, middle of the funnel? By the way, middle of the funnel, okay? Middle of the funnel is going to be 90 days to 11 months out. 90 days to 11 months out. This could be Google pay-per-click that has higher intent, shorter time frame. Can be a lot of times this will be more organic traffic. This can be some Zillow leads, some Zillow Flex, believe it or not, are inside that window as well too, right? Some referrals, past clients, etc. Okay, and then bottom of the funnel are your high intent. They're high intent. They're 90 days or less. Many times these are expired. These are people that come into open houses. These are your Zillow leads. These are the Flex leads for sure. These are your Ojo leads. You're going to pay more for them because they've been curated, they've been filtered down, etc. when they're sent over to you. Okay. Now, everyone sort of bags on Zillow. Zillow's not the devil. Zillow just does what agents aren't willing to do, which is follow up with people and be able to market and be able to get them to the point where they're ready to transact. At their bottom of the funnel, unless they're referral-based business, unless they're past clients, open houses, things along those lines, right? You're going to pay a little bit more for them, but you're paying for the time. Does that make sense, guys? You're basically paying for the time. So, Tammy, when I get someone on the line, what I want to do and why I use the LP Mama script or whatever variation it is, and I've got a new script that on the next call, Nazar, I'd like to send this script out in advance so that we can get it out to everyone that's part of this call so they can look at it so that we can jump into it because, Deanne, it's a script I've never shared with Fiv before, and it's one that I don't teach that much. It's really, really good. However, it's a little bit more of a soft close than a hard close, right? And I like it a lot, right? I really do. My buddy Chris Snow, who is a coaching client of mine down in Florida, uses it very effectively. I call it's the relational online lead close. Now, during that, why I want to get them on the call, why I want to get a hold of them, right, is twofold, right? And write down, here's the two reasons that I want to get this lead on the call. My first communication, write down my very first communication is not to sell them a house. The goal is very simple. And we figured this out because Nazar, remember, I came from Mike Ferry when we started this, right? And Tabitha, if you know anything, John, about Mike, we know about Mike Ferry, right? Okay. Mike Ferry, my background was if they're on the phone, close them to buy a house or sell their house, right? And oh man, did we screw the pooch and waste a lot of time, energy, effort, and money on online leads as we were figuring that out because they would ghost us. They wouldn't call us back. Why? Because we weren't taking the time to do this. Okay, here's my goal. Figure out where they are in the funnel and get some type of face-to-face if possible. That's not a face-to-face to sell them a house. It's a face-to-face to consult them. Does that make sense, my friends? Okay, right? Now that could be a Zoom. I could do it on Zoom, right? I could be in person. And there's some ways to be able to handle a couple of different objection handlers I'll share with you guys where they go, hey, Tammy, I'm like 9 months out. There's no point. I don't want to waste your time, right? Where I can go, hey, Tammy, I can totally appreciate that, right? And I can't tell you how many clients we've had just like yourself that had a little bit longer time frame, right? That were worried about wasting our time or that, like that they didn't want to actually get ahead of themselves, right? That when we met and we sat down, we created the plan, made sure everything was in place. They were so grateful because when they were ready to pull the trigger, they were prepared, they were confident, and they had everything in line. Hey, Tammy, you do want to be prepared, confident, and make sure that everything's in line for you to move forward when you're ready to go, don't you? Yes. Cool. We really don't mind. It takes about 15 minutes. We can do it on Zoom. We can do it in person. What works best for you? All right. And then I'm just doing a basic consultation, not a buyer like hardcore, get them to sign the BBA. It's find out where they are, find out what their time frame is, what are they looking for, right? Okay. And ultimately answer any questions and where they are from a financial standpoint. Now, why is that important? Anyone know the data? Why is it so important that I want to get face-to-face either on Zoom or in person with that person, that lead, as quickly as possible? Anyone know the data? Okay, let me give this to you. NAR has established, and they've stuck to this, so I'm going to believe them. That 57% of all buyers meet with one agent and they end up using the first agent that they meet with. Isn't that fascinating? So Deanne, John, my goal, my team's goal, the people I coach, their team's goal is get face-to-face as quickly as possible because we got a 57% chance of securing that buyer or that seller, right, for the life of their transaction. Isn't that a great little hack, right? So how do you do that? You just got to, and I'll give you the script. You're going to love the online lead script, the relational script. It leads directly into that. It's really difficult to be able to actually say no to it. It builds a lot of value around it as well, too. Okay. So that's my goal, like in my first communication, okay, is to do that. So Now, when the lead comes in, okay, I want to give this to you and this will be sent out to you. We're always looking at those first 7 days are a higher level of intensity than what you think is necessary. And especially in the world that's very busy and very noisy and very loud right now. So here's the first 7 days that we follow, that I teach, that I coach to all of our 7-figure earners. Day number 1, the lead comes in. Now, by the way, Bob, speed to lead matters. I know some of this you've heard multiple times, but I'm going to reiterate it because it would be irresponsible of me not to. Check it out. 1 minute is the goal. Some type of a response in 1 minute. The MIT study actually shows, like after 5 minutes, the shit goes off a cliff, right? So a lot of agents look at this, Nazar, and they say, well, 5 minutes is my window. No, if you really want to be excellent at this, have the highest level of conversion, right? And our agents inside a G3 typically will convert 1, 2, or 3% higher than the norm, and depending upon what the lead source is. Why is that? Because we hammer this in them that when it comes in, even if it's just a text message, hey, I'm in a meeting right now, I can't talk. If you're with your family or something like that, you see the lead comes in, can I give you a call back in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, etc. At least you're acknowledging and touching base with them. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, it doesn't mean that I necessarily have to stop care in everything that I'm doing, pick up the phone and call them if I can, yes, but in general, just some type of a touch takes place, right? So day number 1, I'm going to call them immediately. Then number 2, and don't worry about what to send because I'm going to send this to you. I'm going to text them if there's no answer. Immediately after that, I'm going to call if I can. I'm going to text them if there's no answer. I'm going to leave a voicemail for them when I do call with a small value hook, which I've got about 6 different value hooks. Hey, Bob, just saw that you were on the site. Saw you were looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 Primrose. I know that neighborhood very well. In fact, there's a couple of properties that you probably aren't aware of that are over there. Give me a call back so I can answer any questions, regardless of if you're thinking about buying now or even in 12 months. I just want to be your go-to resource. Thanks again. This is Bill Pipes with Provident Real Estate. Okay, right? Some type of value add. Okay, and you guys ready? Everyone give me a smile and just say, Coach, I look smoking hot on camera. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Yo, Coach, I look smoking hot on camera. Yes, you do. Video text shows them that you're a real live human being. Make sense? Okay, that you're not some automated campaign, right? And I'd love to put that in there like, hey, Liz, I really am a real live human being. I know you're probably on multiple different sites and getting spammed by all types of automatic responders. I'm a real live human being. I'm here to be able to help and support you, whether your plans are now or in 12 months from now, right? It'd be great for us to touch base just so I can see how we can help and right now. Okay. Really simple, very soft. Why? Because if I treat everyone like bottom of the funnel, they run away like cockroaches in Southeast Texas when the lights are turned on at 12 o'clock, right? It's if you come on too strong. And so I'm going to be a little bit softer. Day number two, I do a morning call. Leave another voicemail. Hey, just found a home that may fit your criteria over there in, Cottonwood Heights. Give me a call back. And I'll do a text in the afternoon. Now notice this. Okay, guys, this is where, by the way, 90% of the agents begin to fall apart, is that they don't put enough intention on those first 7 days. They'll get to day number 2 and they'll go, okay, cool, well, I've already, Nazar, it's so funny, man. I have 4 salespeople that are calling, making calls for G3. Some of you have actually probably heard from them because of the fact that you were at the event, Bob, right? I got Ricky, I've got Sophia, I've got Liam, I've got Egan, I've got a new kid that I just hired as well too. It's really funny because Ricky came to me, he's like, I've called these guys 3 times. I thought you said they were hot leads. Right? Like, this is a really funny conversation. And I said, well, a hot lead doesn't mean a lead that's just going to pick up the phone. You still got to call to get them to pick up the phone in the first place. Right, guys? Okay. And the same thing is true. You can't give up. Day number 3. Okay. I'm just going to send them a text on day number 3. Okay. And there's a couple of key texts. Did you still want info over here in Cottonwood Heights? I can send you some good ones. All right. Keep them short, keep them sweet. Day number 4, call. And I'll give this to you guys, but it's a call and it's a short voicemail. Okay. Hey, not urgent. Don't want to drop the ball, but want to make sure that you got all your questions answered. Please give me a call back. Day number 5, another video text. Day number 6, follow-ups, call, and another voicemail. Day number 7, another call and voicemail. Now you're going to look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I got 15 points of contact. 15 points of contact in 7 days. With the only intent is, Bob, getting them to respond and pick up the phone so that I can then determine either I get an appointment with them or determine where they are to be able to adjust my follow-up. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. You know, when I used to teach the LP Mama script, I used to teach it that your goal is to set an appointment. Okay. But the consumer has evolved. And so now it's figure out where they are on the map, right? And then be able to actually hopefully get the appointment for a consultation, not to go out and look at property, and then adjust my approach depending upon that consultation or the conversation that I have. Nazar, I'm going to need a jam, but I'm going to send the script over. We got about another full webinar on this that we're going to be going over, right? Anything that you want to say, because I know you work Zillow, you have Zillow, et cetera, right? You've had online leads for years. Anything you want to say on the heels of this?
I think just like intentionality is important. And sometimes even I remember when I was younger in the business, I would do things to just check off a box. And then I realized that doesn't serve me in any way. It doesn't serve my clients. It doesn't serve me. I would just do it like, okay, well, if I do this, it's supposed to like give me transactions or whatever it is. And I would love for people in general to stop looking at leads as a lead and start looking at them as a human being. When we start doing that, when we start looking at human beings and all the complexities of as a human being are and how and why they make decisions, and not be afraid to ask questions that allow us to dive deeper into who they are as a human being so that we can know how to properly help them.
Yep.
Right? Because like you could be the best negotiator, you could be the best agent possible, but if they don't think that you care or you're treating them like a number, then they're not going to trust and care about you.
That's right.
And a lot of times those that do get leads online, human beings that are looking at buying, like getting them to face is so critical. And that's why open houses do so well, because you get to have that connection, right? Like even on Zoom here, we see each other's faces and that's awesome. But when we get to meet each other face to face and touch the energy, the vibrations, like everything just elevates the opportunity for us to have connection, and connections what people do business with. They do business with people. So anyway.
It's trust, respect, and rapport, right, guys? Those are the 3 drivers to choice. Do they trust you? Do you do what you said you're going to do in the time you're going to do it? Do they respect you? Are you showing knowledge, right? And knowledge base and certainty and rapport. That's what Nazar was talking about. Is there that connection? People know when you care. Do they not? I mean, can you tell when someone really cares? I can just feel it. There's something about it, right? It's attractive. We call it charisma, but really what charisma is someone that truly cares about other human beings. Love him, hate him, or not, right? Or there are two presidents that were absolutely fantastic at this. Number 1 was Ronald Reagan, and number 2 was Bill Clinton, right? Okay. I have Debbie Holloway, who is a good friend of mine. Her husband, Dan, many of you know Debbie from Tom Ferry. Her husband, Dan, was a tobacco industry lobbyist. Don't hold it against him, right? So, but he got the chance to meet so many different presidents. And he said the thing that always amazed him about Reagan and the thing that amazed him about Clinton is the whole world would disappear around them and they would just focus on you. Whether it was, the person that came in to be able to give them water or that you got the chance to sit down with them. So you want to channel that when you're calling these leads. They're human beings. They're not just numbers. They're not just searches. They're looking for that. And when you approach it that way and go, I really want to get to know them, their situation, what their wants, needs, and desires are, which this script does that I'm going to share with you guys on the next call, right? It really not only produces great results, it has you feel better about the job that we do as well too. Okay? Which makes the calling that much more fun. All right, guys, I got a jam. I appreciate you. stay tuned for next call because Nazar is going to get this script over to you if he can. And we'll see you next week when we unpack what do we do when we get them on the phone. Okay. Talk to you guys soon.
Well,
thanks again. Okay. Take care.
I don't want to stay on for just for a second. I do want to let you guys know or invite you, if that's okay. Bill, you can jump off. I want to invite you guys to spend the next couple weeks and don't feel like you have to pressure anyone to buy anything, right? That's not our job. Our job is not to pressure anyone. Our job is to find the people that are ready to buy, people that are ready to sell, and in part share with them enough knowledge so they can trust and feel comfortable that we are the right person to help them find or transact. And so that's just my invitation. And when you go into the holiday season, when you start going to parties, you start going to, family events, and sometimes those can be triggering for some of us. But nevertheless, when you're there, let people know that you're in real estate. And I'm sure that most of you guys do. And don't get upset when you find out that cousin Betty bought a home without you last month. That used to really make me sad. But it's okay, right? Because it's not their responsibility to connect. It's our responsibility to connect. And all that does is just give you an opportunity to say, you know what? I should have done a better job because I didn't realize that cousin Betty was looking at buying a home. And so take those opportunities, make those connections, have fun, enjoy life, and just know that you're there to serve. And we're in a wonderful country that we live in. We have so many blessings that we receive on a daily basis. Just express gratitude and also know that the way you become that knowledgeable agent that people want to do business with is by, first of all, educating yourself and getting that knowledge. And then two, to not be a secret agent. And I invite every single one of you to not be a secret agent. And the way you do that is by getting out there, making those videos, posting on social media, being authentic and vulnerable with yourself and those around you so that people know that you exist. And so they can decide if they like and know and trust you. And when you do those things, magic happens. Transactions take place. Lives change. You guys coming from being an immigrant and coming from a different country to this country, you don't know if you've grown up in a very stable home, you've always had, your parents have always owned a home and you've owned a home and you just take it for granted. Those that don't have that or have always been perpetual renters, when you help someone buy a home, and I'm sure you guys have experienced, especially if it's a first-time home buyer, it's magical. It really is. It's they finally feel grounded, I could establish roots here. I can make this is my home now. I get to do improvements and I get to enjoy it. And it's awesome that we get to be a part of that. So I'm grateful for you guys. I really am. I know that this business is so stressful and sometimes it's a thankless job, right? People think that all we do around is just, drink Chardonnay and show property and make a ton of money. And that's usually not the case. And so just extend grace to yourself, extend grace to others, have fun, and just know that we're here to support one another. Reach out if you guys need any help. Reach out, connect with somebody. You're not alone. And this holiday season, if you guys, don't have a place to go, instead of saying, oh, I have no place to go, be the person that it invites. Right? And because all my kids, they'd be like, oh, I have no friends. I'm like, then be a friend. Be a friend. So thanks for staying on for another minute and appeasing me. You guys have an amazing day. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you guys next week.